Module 3, Class Assignment 1. Create your first Facebook ad design. First part, 3.01, Web Browser part. Welcome to this lecture where we will create our first Facebook ad design. Alright, let's get started. The first thing we'll do is create a mock-up. This will allow us to test our ideas fast, but more importantly, see the ad in content. You will see what I mean in a few seconds. Here's how this goes. Open Facebook and scroll down a little. It won't be long until you get to an ad. Take your time to find an ad. Don't panic. You'll get one pretty quickly. You may need to scroll down a little if you don't see it already. Here I find one. As you can see, it's not a regular post because it is a sponsored one. Next, I'll grab my assets, meaning those resources that make my advertisement. That's the avatar icon, the ad image, the title, description, website, the description, part 2 and part 3. These are all my assets. We'll adjust these information as according to our ad. Meanwhile, I'll be providing you these resources for practice, and your home assignment is that you will design your own separate Facebook ad design. Now here's what I want you to do. I'm using Firefox, but this works in Opera, Google Chrome, and just about any other browser. The process is the same. If you're using an ad blocker, you obviously have to disable it for this exercise. I hope you have already disabled them by now. If not, then it's still the time you disable them. Now simply follow my steps. Select or highlight the ad's title here, and then right click. In my case, it's right here. After then, you'll get a drop-down list like this. From here, choose Inspect Element if you are using Firefox, or simply Inspect if you are using Google Chrome. In my case, it's a Firefox. So here is Inspect Element. So I click it here. The panel is going to show up on your right or on bottom, which is full of information. It may be in a different position and it may even look slightly different, but what's important is to make sure you're on the Inspector tab here. If you're using Firefox browser, then there would be Inspector. But if you're using Google Chrome, then there would be Elements here instead of this Inspector. What I mean is, only the tab's name of various web browsers are different. Rest are all the same, so you don't need to panic. All you need is a little patience. Now, among all these codes, look for those words that make up the ad's title. My ad title is Skillshare, and I will search here where the Skillshare is. Right here. Now, if you couldn't see that selected word in Inspector tab already, then there should be an arrow next to the highlighted area that expands or collapses. Don't panic. You'll find it right there. In my case, it's already revealed, so I didn't have to expand the arrow. Now, as you move your mouse around these codes, the linked area is previewed on the main Facebook page too. It's so easy to find your contents or text of Facebook inside the Inspector tab. By now, you'll know which part of the code controls which section of the page. Now with that being understood, let's move on. Simply double-click the text inside the already pre-highlighted line below the Inspector tab that needs to be replaced with our own content. Now after you double-click there, you'll see you have entered editing mode already. This means that you can use the backspace or delete to delete what's there and type in your own text or even your own information. For now, I'll use Trilogy Digital Media. Trilogy Digital Media as my title for this Facebook ad. You'll also be doing the same along with me. Then you'll hit enter and take a look at your result on the main Facebook page. Look here, it is already edited here as you type there. So congratulations, we've just made our first mockup. Alright, the title is done already. Well, this is only the first step. We'll use this principle to replace these all text contents with our own text one at a time so that you'll be feeling more confident working alone even after this video ends in a while. By the way, it's a warning. Please don't refresh the page. The changes you are making are local and they will only show up for you. If you're going to close the page or refresh it, all your hard work is going to be lost immediately. So be extremely careful about this. Again, let's edit this description with our own content in a similar manner too. So I'll quickly replace this description from the notepad. First of all, I will copy the content of this description here. And then I will select a few words from here. Then I will right click, inspect element or inspect as according to your web browser. And then here you could see there is a drop down box and I will click it. So here you are. I'll double click that and I'll simply paste it. And hit enter. Right, this is done. All that's left is to replace the two photos, this one and the logo one, that is the avatar. And this one is the ad image. Here's how we do that. Take a look at your keyboard and press the print screen button. Simply press that button. Next, fire up Photoshop. Start any random project. Though I suggest you use something standard like 1920 by 1080 pixels. Make sure you're selecting pixels instead of inches, centimeter, and any other things. Just select pixels and then hit OK. Now hit Ctrl V to paste that screenshot image in Photoshop. Did that work for you? Check it. If that doesn't work, don't panic. Just go to the top menu of Photoshop and then click on Edit tab and then simply click Paste. What about now? Did that work? In case none of these options work, then your print screen didn't do its job. Don't worry, it's not your fault. Now you're left with one last option. That is, the Firefox has its own built-in screenshot feature. You can also use it. For that, look over the address bar on your top, where you could see the three dots here. right next to the address bar. Click it, and at the bottom you will see take a screenshot. Now click that, and there you will see a selected box. Click and drag your mouse button and then cover that area. It doesn't need to be a perfect while covering it. Right. Finally, you have two options here. One is copy and one is download. You can copy that and then simply press Ctrl V on the Photoshop. You can also do that, but I will choose the second option by downloading this area and then saving it as abc.png. Now you can drag it into Photoshop directly. Select the download icon here and then open containing folder. Here you are. You can simply drag it to the Photoshop. Here you are. Go to the layers tab if you are not already on layers. Once you hit OK, then you can select these two layers which we already copied earlier, and then simply delete those. We don't need them. Right, we're here in Photoshop. Now we will edit that screenshot in our Photoshop on the next video. Till then, stay creative. Part 2, Photoshop part. Hi again. I hope you all are pretty fine just as I am. So without a delay, let's just go to the Photoshop and open our downloaded screenshot by pressing Ctrl O and then simply choosing the file that we took screenshot before. And then open it. Now we need to replace these two images. This one, the add image, and this one, the after image. Get a rectangle tool from the left side of the screen from the toolbar. If you click and hold, you can see it has other tools underneath it. We want the first one, that is the rectangle tool. Next, we have to click and draw a new shape that is as big as this add. Click and drag the mouse by pressing the Alt key. Let's say I'm going to make it too big, something like that. While we're here, take down its opacity to something like 60%. So that contents below it could be seen too. Type in your new value of opacity just like this. You can select a field here. Let me grab a blue button and I will reduce its opacity just to about like this, 40%. Take it step by step. Don't worry about nailing everything on your first go. Great. Now hit Ctrl T and some handles are going to show up. Now first zoom in by pressing Alt and scroll up so that you could zoom it. If it's too up close, simply zoom out by scrolling down while pressing the Alt button. Right, this looks fine to me. Now, one by one, grab the handles and resize the rectangle. Do it like this. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Take your time with it. We have a long way to go. When you are happy with it, just hit enter or click on this tick sign. Okay, bring back the opacity to 100%. From here, we lowered the opacity earlier just to make the rectangle shape easy to fit. Now we can drag in our add image into the Photoshop. Simply locate the folder where your resources are, the add picture here, drag it into the Photoshop like this. Initially this is going to be too big, but simply use any corner handles in order to resize it. Follow me as I do it right here. But it doesn't have to match our shape, because here's the key. Hit enter to get rid of those handles. The magic combination is Ctrl plus Alt plus G. Now see, just like that, our image has been applied to that rectangle. This is called a clipping mask. But that's not important to this point. You may need to resize it some more. Select a move tool and then use Ctrl T. Shrinking it down may not be enough, so click and hold to reposition the image so it fits perfectly. Right. After a bit of tinkering, this is what you should end up with. To make sure you are viewing this at a normal zoom level, press Ctrl 1. Shrinking it down may not be enough, so click and hold to reposition the image. See this number here, the 100%? This tells if you are at 100%. Now all that's left to do is replace this small avatar. Now again, click the rectangle tool in the left panel of your toolbar. And then select an ellipse tool. Now select and drag your mouse, and by pressing the shift button and try to match the logo here. It doesn't need to be perfect. Once you do it, release mouse button and press Ctrl T to resize it. Press Alt and scroll up to zoom a bit, and then resize your handles. It doesn't need to be perfect. Now press enter to make the transformation and apply a fill here. Just choose any random color here and use the magic combination. Now drag your logo or your avatar image from the downloaded folder. In my case, this is my avatar, so I will click and drag it to my Photoshop. I will zoom out a bit by pressing Alt and scroll down. Resize it by pressing the shift button so that it maintains its proportion. And I'll click and drag it to fit roughly in my logo area or the avatar area, and I'll hit enter. And then I'll use the magic combination Control Alt and G. Here you go. My avatar is inside the ellipse which we just created before. I want you to take it from the top and to follow my step. Alright, this is your first classroom assignment. I would like to tell you why we are doing it this way. From my experience, the people in other marketing teams sometimes have ideas that are not practical. Long titles, boring description, inappropriate photos, and so on. To make sure your Facebook ad is on point, the best way to go about it is to see it in context. Meaning, if we take away this mock-up that we are creating here, we are left with what? Only an image and a few lines of text. A deconstructed ad, if you wish to say. It's pretty funny to say that it's like eating flowers, eggs, and butter. So those are the building blocks of a cake, right? But it's not exactly the same thing. So we are taking the time to create this mock-up because it shows us how actual users are going to see our ads with all the distractions of the sidebar, the chat of the Facebook, and other elements on the page. Please do this exercise once more at home as an assignment, but with your own resources, your very own little title, the description and the photos. Use whatever you like. Just make sure the ad makes sense. Please upload your own version. That's what interests me. The value of this mock is immense because you can use this method on any website. You have one more assignment that I will be assigning you. Now what you need to do is you just edit this Skillshare and replace it by Trilogy Digital Media, and then edit this part as www.tdm.com.np. This is your assignment at home. Your options are endless, and honestly, I use this technique in all my projects. It's extremely useful, and now you know how to use it. Congratulations, and see you in the next video. Stay creative.